One of y'all's have to learn how to do this when I'm gone.
All right.
After 2 years.
All right, you ready? Yep. So start with the pledge. I pledge
pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Start with call to order, please.
Commissioner Case? Commissioner Garvelia? Commissioner Cochran?
Present.
Commissioner Story?
Present.
Mayor Massersohn?
Present. Meeting approval minutes. We're good. Shut me.
Okay. One copy of minutes from the meeting on May 13th. No, it would have been May 28th, Tuesday, May 24th. There's another one on there.
Yeah, I missed it too.
We have a little bit of a correction in what you were given. The pay resolution was carried over from the previous one, so strike that through. We did not pass through pay resolutions. Try to
We
be
already
hardest,
fixed that one
but,
though.
Yes.
so, with that correction, I make the motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Commissioner Story? Mayor Massersohn?
Yes. And public property report, Ms. Garavalia?
Yes, I have no, purchase orders, and then, we will, carry on with the repairs to the police department, that's on that. And, then, the only other thing I put on here is discussion and approval of implementing use of work orders. And the reason I put that on there is there's I just need to have some better communication with the workers to get things done. And like today I put something out, I just did on a text message, you probably got that, Cory. And, you know, and I
Do you know if they done
tried
it?
to.
Do you know if they took care of it?
No, not before the meeting.
Okay.
But that's, it's just only, it's probably like a 10-minute job, it's not very, but,
I'll
you know,
follow up
just-
tomorrow and see if they done it.
Okay, and so anyways, I just wanna open it up.
Is this in the
for
street
you
or
to
in the
see.
water department?
Oh, I just asked them if they can cut some dead shrubs out, in front of the police department. I actually went to do it, I decided my little handthing
When you
was,
get it done.
and
So
so.
there were, when I was street commissioner, we actually created, and it wasn't the pink sheet or the yellow sheet, whoever it was, but there was a little form
Mhm.
that I created that I could give to Craig and Craig could give to the guys. At least,
Okay.
it's not carbon copy, so there's no paper trail. But there is that form, and I was just sticking it in Craig's box or sticking it on his desk, and he's giving it to the
Okay.
guys. So that kind of begins that, but then also the use of, depending on the scope of the project, we have the Monday.com, which is a project management software we're talking about, but that's
I
for
know
much
that.
bigger things,
Okay.
yeah. So,
Okay.
do those help do what you're talking about
Yeah,
doing?
that would help and continue with, you know, this text message, does that work for you, Cory?
Yes, well, you know, Dale Watkins, our lead man, has always told me, if you ain't done it, I got a notepad there, stop by and put it down there, we'll get done.
Mm-hmm.
I've never asked those guys, you know, sometimes when they're busy with a street program, or sidewalk, but most of the time, if I call them and they'll just do it. I mean, I had some stuff around my neighborhood the other day, and they just come down and done it, so a lot of times they don't know what we need.
Yeah, well, sometimes we have just small projects that we don't need to
Yeah,
hire someone outside to
You know,
come do it. Do you know whether or not the sink at the police department has been secured? It was loose and wobbly on the wall, and that's something that they can do easily.
Haven't heard that one.
haven't heard that one.
Well, I checked on it 2 or 3 times, and it hasn't been done, but, you know,
Well, I
that's
mean,
an
it's not
easy
like
fix.
nobody's skirting their job description here of doing something, and we all try to help the city, but I don't know if that's something our street guys or water guy, I mean, if it's plumbing work or something inside a building, I don't know if we should go
It's
there.
just mounting it.
Yeah.
It's just.
I mean, we can ask them, we can ask Craig and,
Craig said it wasn't, that they.
Yeah.
Okay,
didn't do it.
all right.
But I just, you know,
yeah, cause you get into buildings, you don't get into buildings and you get into another avenue sometimes, you know. Of course,
but
like this.
little things like that, it's, like I
And there is something beneficial about having a text message, because then you've got a
Yes.
timestamp and a paper trail, and yeah, it's that digital
And
paper
you
trail.
can copy and paste it to somebody else, and,
Yeah.
yeah.
I do.
I mean, it's just technology, it's how we communicate, that is,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, that's all I have.
Good, thank you. Streets public improvements, Mr.
I have
Coy.
no purchase orders I'm aware of, I do have some pool adjustments, we've got these all in one sheet. Our clerk was so nice to do them, we'll read them off, we got 6 of them. We got Bolts, Boyce, Tittle, Moore, House, and Gully, they're all wanting pool adjustments, so make a motion to approve those. Did you put one in everybody's packet?
I do,
Yeah,
I
did
have-
you find another one?
I have 7 in my packet, there's one
I missed
for Rick,
one.
there's one for Rick Riddle,
Oh,
11 South Brown
That's the
Street.
one I'm looking at right
You
now.
know, it also met the requirement,
you missed that, okay.
it met the requirement, it meets the requirement, so it would be,
Okay.
it has the yes box check, they all have the yes box.
Okay, that's fine, well, I make a motion we approve those 7.
I'll second.
Commissioner Case?
Pass.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Or Mayor Messersohn?
Sure, yes.
I think that's all I have now. I don't see anything else.
Easy enough. Mr. Cochran, street, public health and safety.
Purchase orders on getting through the water stuff you got. Okay, we got new 2023 police interceptor, $42,209. I wanna table that for now,
Thank you.
so I'll make a motion to table.
Purchase number 128
Yes.
with Merrill Brothers Ford.
Commissioner Case, you seconded that? Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Commissioner Story? Mayor Messersohn?
Yes.
The next one I have is for a point blank, Guardian Carrier for Officer Morgan Waters for $890. I'll make a motion to,
Don't have that one either.
Maybe I'm just,
maybe I'm not.
I got another one, it's not that one.
Got a desktop bundle computer for the police department,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that, did we?
I think that was last time.
Well, I don't know.
Was-
Yeah,
I think we
that
did.
was
Oh,
probably in
We did
your,
a bunch of
your
those.
Oh,
box
okay.
because,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
I thought that sounded familiar.
I'm like, we doing that again?
yeah.
That's like that second pay resolution.
This one's good, right? This one's good.
That one.
Okay, the next one I have is HP, excuse me, desktop bundle computers for $1,598. Unit price is $799. I make a motion to accept that.
I'll second.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Mayor Messersohn?
Yes.
Unit the police department's got some junk in it. It's taking up space.
The list is on the back.
Okay,
That's what they want to get rid of, it's on the back.
so I make a motion to get rid of this. I guess we've gotta take it to Carbondale or somewhere, I don't know.
I think you would have to take part, it would be the electronics, I guess the
Electronics.
Yeah,
Just-
everything else is local.
Basically, a motion to approve them discarding it in appropriate manner. Everything apparently is non-functioning or broken. So just need a motion to allow the police
Where
department
are we gonna take it to?
wherever he would find it's allowed.
Yeah, wherever the appropriate
We'll
place.
take it.
If it's Andy Lamont, let's hook him up.
Carbondale takes
Yeah, wherever it
electronics.
is.
I'll second Don's motion.
Okay,
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Commissioner Story?
yes,
Mayor Messersohn?
Yes.
and that is it.
Only question, and then a question about this, but I have a question about this Friday is Flag Day. Is there anything the fire department can do with that big beautiful flag for Flag Day? I know
I'm sorry.
we have the big flag,
Yeah.
and I know we usually hang that from the ladder truck. I know we're down units. Would they have the ability to hang that flag out for part of Flag Day this Friday?
Yeah, Probably.
That's
Let
something
me-
we can do.
Let me talk to,
Cause they did that one time, it was, for 9/11, it was beautiful.
okay.
And then, it'd be nice to see if we could get the buntings up before Friday as well.
And they're at the fire department too.
If they get a call, they just have to leave,
Okay.
but it's right there.
They might be able to hang it on the side of the department.
They've done that before,
Facing
too.
West Main,
Yeah.
they could maybe do that way we don't have to worry about taking
Which
805
they
out
did.
of service.
Yeah.
So it'd be possible for them to maybe hang that on the side and then see if they can get the bunting up at Capitol Park for us before Flag
I
Day?
think they can do something.
Okay. That'd look awesome, that'd be very nice. Be awesome.
Where, now, you need to tell me exactly where you want it, so I can,
Sure. Okay.
let me know.
We'll get together, we'll figure it out.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
That's all I got.
Okay, Council and Finance.
One payroll dated for the 7th, last Friday, total $117,629.87. With a breakdown of $94,049.89 from the general and $23,579.98 from the water and sewer revenue fund. One side note, this does include, paid on call firefighters for the last 2 quarters totaling about $13,106.52. So I make a motion to approve, that payroll as presented.
I second it.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Mayor Messerschmidt?
Yes.
The bills, everyone else's favorite part of the month. And it's a big one, it's $544,516.71, with $496,703.09 from the accounts payable fund, and $47,813.62 from MFT. I make a motion to approve the bills as presented.
Second.
Commissioner Case?
Yep.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Mayor Messerschmidt?
Yes.
C, IML for 2024. We need to start thinking about what we're gonna do. I don't think the lineup is out yet. The class list is not out yet, is it, Brooke?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think it is either. I think they just,
Registration's open, but I don't think they have the list.
Hotels are not open
They will be opening very soon.
yes. It's a nice property.
Hey, I
yet.
wanna
If
go.
you know a person.
I've stayed at that hotel a couple of times. Spent about 9 days there.
Is that this way?
September
The Hyatt
19th,
Regency
20th, and
on
21st.
Lake Shore.
September 19th, 21st. That's what I got down.
Yeah.
September 19th,
This
21st.
week, this week. Okay.
I still actually have the briefs that I was given, when we kinda had those couple items, back in like March, early April, talking about, what we took from IML from the last trip, and then tried to implement. I have one elected official to go this year, which is Lee, and then I had planned on sending Brooke, Tom, Brian, and potentially our new treasurer, if he was comfortable. There's a payroll that comes that week, so I don't wanna take him away. Lisa will have already vacated by the time IML rolls around, so I don't wanna force John to go, if it's gonna cause an issue, but if he feels that he can manage, I would like to send our new treasurer, because I think it would be a good learning piece. Without seeing the lineup, I don't know, I can't make a recommendation on any commissioners. I don't know what's there for public improvements, properties, I know there's gonna be financial stuff there. I have no interest in going. I would much rather the new treasurer go.
Even with the nice
I
hotel.
wanna go.
Even with nice hotel. So, I don't think we necessarily have to take action on it tonight. If we do, we can always come back to it. Just as a couple of things, I cut all of the commissioners' budgets in training this year. Rarely do they get used to begin with, but I trimmed from all of them, trying to get ready for the project we have coming on West Main and then East Main. We had a meeting this morning about a fund and its sustainability. I just don't know if it's in great taste to send a bunch of people to a training 5 hours away when I'm down here throwing fits about what we're spending and trying to pinch pennies. If anybody really is hell-bent on going, I'll take that into consideration, but right now, I've just got the 5. And again, it's probably gonna end up being 4, cause I don't know if John will be able to break away or not.
What about Kathy, what she would like to go to that? Can you get her in on that?
I would like to be able to see the lineup and see what kind of, again, a lot of it is what benefit is brought back from those sessions that are attended. I got a report from Brian and from Brooke and from Tom about what was taken away from IML last year and that they have worked to implement. As a matter of fact, I just sat through a meeting, not last week, but the week before, with Brian and a gentleman with Retail Strategies about some stuff that some training that Brian's gonna go through, and it was a connection that Brian made through the IML conference. I'm not dead set on anybody not going, but it needs to pay dividends. Again, especially when we're telling our department heads, like, hey, we need to watch spending on this, we need to see an ROI.
I cannot attend this year anyway, so you can take me off to even consideration, because I've got a conflict that weekend, so.
Well, and like I said, I have no interest in going, and if I do change my mind later on,
Yeah.
I will probably just pick my own tab up. I don't ever turn anything into the city for reimbursement. I wanna make sure that when we spend $10,000 to send everybody up there, I wanna see an ROI.
Which is fair.
Because that's a considerable amount of money. And when I'm throwing a fit about making sure that people stretch their budget across 12 months, I think we have to take that into consideration. Again, we're not destitute. We are not, as a municipality, we are not broken, flattened, but it can turn, we live in the state of Illinois. It can turn on a dime. So I don't necessarily, I don't know if we need to take action
So you
tonight.
just wanna table it and then in 2 weeks?
Let's table, that's kind of where I'm at right now with it. Let's not take any action on it. I'll make a motion to table this until the following meeting, and then we'll finalize, hopefully the IML will have a lineup for us.
Yeah.
And we'll do that, we'll finalize that when we get a lineup and we know. what
Is your
those are.
concern about booking hotels while they're available?
And then that'll be a separate
What's
item.
that?
Yes.
Okay, so Brooke has it, the reason she has it on the agenda, and her biggest concern is hotel booking and then booking up. That's why it's on here so early, am I understanding that correctly?
Correct,
Okay.
because, the TIF conference that happens earlier in the week, it's not at the same hotel, but it's right by it.
Right,
And so everyone that normally would be staying there will also be staying. So I was hoping to get permission to book rooms for certain
So-
people.
And can
Good.
we drop in a certain amount of time without any penalty?
Yes.
So could we book 5 and then keep 4 if need be?
that's, so,
We
so-
can do that.
is
so
that
what
fair?
I'll do is, I'll modify my motion. I make a motion to move forward with securing 5 rooms for the city for an IML.
And 2 rooms for the TIF,
Yes,
is that right, am I saying that correctly?
because they essentially run concurrently, so we can package them back in the motion.
Correct.
Okay.
And just name who it is, I mean, obviously, I guess you don't, if you got the rooms, but I'm saying, are you
Well-
just had Brian and I is that your game plan?
Yes. So we'll do 5 rooms for the IML conference, and then we'll do 2 rooms for the TIP conference. And then we can come back in 2 weeks, and then we can finalize. If we need to add one, we can add one. If we can drop up until about 2 weeks out, I would assume.
And
So
then we
our
can
new treasurer's in there,
And then we can pay for the account.
He's in there now.
he's in there now.
I don't even know if I've told him he's
All we
in
gotta
there.
do is
Maybe he'll
schedule.
find out when he watches the stream.
That's good. All we
Or
gotta
he
do is
comes in the
schedule.
morning. But
Okay.
I just want to be able to.
He needs to go.
I agree. I think it would be really good, and he's gonna be in it longer than
I was gonna say, that if we can get him there, that'd be something I'd love to see happen,
So
it just matter.
that is my motion.
I'll second.
Commissioner Case, Commissioner Garavilla,
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran,
Yes.
Commissioner Story, Mayor Mr. Smith.
Yes.
I have nothing else, just one minor update. We talked about Zobrio last time, and that was our software agreement. The service agreement is coming up due as well, so that will be a bill probably, I don't think we paid it in this one, did we?
We paid something in this round, but I think it was just the agreement. I think the next thing, I wanna say is July.
I think so.
July.
So there's, you'll hear 2 things about Zobrio. One is the actual software agreement, one is the service agreement. But just keeping the council abreast of what is going on, and, aside from that, I have nothing else to report.
Good deal, alright. City Attorney, any updates?
No.
Okay, under under public affairs, just a couple of things to be updated about. We had our citywide yard sale last weekend, and Barb Maui puts that together and takes no money and does it out of just the goodness and passion of our yard sailing. I was impressed in what she does and how she does it, and then the community rallied around it in the church and all that was involved. I thought that was pretty impressive, and I love seeing our community get together and do things like that, so that felt like a big win. In regards to Malkovich Park, I know it's starting to look like a jungle up there. Street boys are gonna go up there and at least knock the weeds down. We got an email that basically said they could give us the first half of the grant money, and I just found out this evening we signed it, and they said we're good to go. So we're gonna follow up with them and see what we can do to start tearing things apart. So we should be pretty close to beginning the actual destruction and construction of Malkovich Park here within the next, I would assume, 30 days. Is that fair enough?
Would say
Does that
that's
sound
probably a fair
correctly?
assessment, yeah.
Last thing that I've got, and something that I've been wrestling with and working on a little bit, is having gone to other communities and see what other communities are doing and how they're being identified and what people think of them. It's made me ask the question, when people think of Benton, what do they think of? The question is, what do we want them to think of? So I've started down this journey of talking about identity and branding for the city of Benton. What do we look at? Not committing any dollars, just language, conversation. But beginning that conversation, asking around, what do we want people to think of when they think of Benton? Do we want to think of Rangers and our high school? Do we want them to think coal mine? Do we want them to think Red Lake? So kind of asking those questions. At this point, we don't have any answers, but I'm starting to dialogue with different people and kind of getting some feedback. So I'll keep the council up to date. The idea being that we kind of hone in on who are we and what do we want people to think when they think about Benton, and what's going to pull them in and draw those people in to come visit Benton as a destination. So
Our antique stores too.
antique stores, we're now going to have 5 women's boutiques in town, which, like, think of a boutique crawl through town that ends or starts at the winery. You know, like, there's all kinds of things that we can do. And so Benton's starting to get its own identity and flavor. And I think the question is, how do we foster that? What does that look like, and how do we lean and build into that? Even including some of the possible businesses we can have on the street.
Block found skirting, and the zoning and planning commission had a hearing on June 5th to hear the matter, and they voted to pass the recommendation with no objections. And I would also give my recommendation to allow for the special use permit for Mrs. Bischoff.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
Commissioner Case? Commissioner Garvelia? Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Commissioner Story? Mayor Massersohn?
Yes. Then item D there.
Okay, yeah, and then item D, this is a different matter. This is actually, there's no address of the property, but it is the land, and I've given you a map there from my zoning, map. It is directly east of the car wash on Bailey Lane. And, I've outlined a lot there in red, that is in question. And this is a request for zoning change because the owner owns the entire block there. And if you notice, the lots to the south are in blue. Those are in the R2 zoning district. And they are wanting to do a development of duplexes on that property. And so they wanted to zone the rest of that property where they could be allowed to do that development. And so this would go from B6 to R2 if approved. This was also approved with no objections at the Zoning and Planning Commission hearing on June 5th, and I also would give my recommendation to rezone this particular lot because I think we definitely need more affordable housing in this community, and we need good affordable housing in this community.
Is it just what's in the red rectangle that's being rezoned?
That's correct. That's
So
the
it's
one.
not the entire section?
Correct,
Okay.
yeah, and I don't know if I would want to rezone all the way to Bailey Lane.
That's why I was asking the question.
However,
And those are still 3 individual parcels, they've not been dissolved into one.
that's correct.
Okay. I didn't see lines, that's why I was asking.
Yeah, those are 3 separate parcels.
Okay. So your recommendation to the council is to approve?
To approve the zoning change, yes.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia? Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Commissioner Story? Mayor Massersohn?
Yes.
That's all I got.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Any miscellaneous business, council? Any old business? Any new business?
Yeah, we might, have a problem with fitting our new fireman in, he, lied
Okay.
at the last minute. So I don't know where we're standing now. I talked to Shane, he's talked to, Chris. We might have to keep our temps going for how long?
Was he not one of the temps?
Yes.
Okay, so are we replacing him as a temp, or are we just gonna
Well, I
keep?
talked to Shane tonight, I'll meet with him in the morning, but we're for sure keeping John. So,
Do we need to, at one of the next meetings, vote to extend that, cause I think we only approved that for a certain
I
amount of time.
think it goes through the first part of July, so we can probably either clip it with the last meeting in June or the first meeting in July, but I think it expires shortly after the first meeting. in
That's what I was
July.
thinking of.
I'm
yeah.
just throwing it out
Look
there
at
so
you, like
we
it
can
yours.
be thinking
Yes.
about it. He told me it was costing him $20,000 a year to move here with his wife's job. And there's 4 on the list and we just have to start all over again.
One would think that you would explore that before accepting it.
Well, all that it was, he had this stuff ordered, his boots and everything ordered.
But, I mean, you would think that before you accept a job offer.
You thought Zach would have looked into that?
You would explore the compensation and benefits before saying, yes, I will take that, or no, I do not.
I didn't
Not
find
wait
out
for us to
till
get this far down the line and
Saturday
then
when I called you.
change. So,
So that's all I got, you know.
So next meeting, hopefully we'll have something in there about
Yeah. we
merit
should.
board and kind of process.
John knows it, John D knows it, so.
Okay. Any other new business, council?
just one thing, we met this morning about the water sewer revenue fund. The fund is not in fantastic shape. They've had a lot of bigger bills. Again, we've had issues at Lake Moses with the lift station. Some of this stuff is, so much of the stuff is out of our control, right? Be it someone hits a fire truck, or 803 goes down, or lift station goes down, like, this is just, it's wear and tear, and it breaks down and costs money to fix. But the water and sewer revenue fund is, for lack of a better phrase, is taking on water.
It's what's underwater. Yeah.
It is very much underwater. So we met this morning and spitballed some ideas to try to find some type of solution. You know, we had made some changes to the budget at the beginning of the year. We had moved according to the treasurer's salaries and benefits out. And there's nothing that they are not compensated in any way, shape, or form from water sewer revenue fund right now. They're all out of the general fund. And we've shifted some other stuff and it's still not helping. So that's what our meeting this morning was about, was to try to come up with some solutions to get them in better shape. If this comes back, like I said, I'm probably gonna beat the table about it until we do something about it, but we've got these pool adjustments. I mean, I know they sound small now, but they
starting to add up.
they start to add up to a fund that can't afford it. If that revenue fund had money, it would be probably a different situation. I mean, we'll get through this summer. We're not gonna change the game. We're not gonna change the rules of the game in the middle of the game. It's not fair. But once we get into the fall, we're gonna have to really, really look at that and probably some other things without raising rates.
Right.
I don't think that's fair. We've already done a raise. We can't continue to saddle the consumers with raises left and right in order to pay for that fund. You have to clean up spending. And that's all I've got.
Okay. Alright. Any matters from the public? Leave the public. Alright. Then we just need a motion.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Commissioner Gaines,
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia, Commissioner Cochran,
Yes.
Commissioner Story,
Yes, sure.
Mayor Messersohn.
Yes.
Good news.
I like it. Your camper's back.
No.
Oh, not that good news.
It's good news.
So, happy anniversary, who's got